have been mono eating mangoes all morning today. The atulfo, I don't know how you say it, but these types of mangoes hit every single time, always. So I've been mono eating mangoes. Hi Leah, hi Becca, hi Adina, hi Kalisha, hi Undine. Wow, we got the gang up in here. Hi Kevin. Hopefully I'm in Tulum lately. I've been seeing your stories, or recently, or hopefully. Sorry. Well, I wanted to go live today because I actually just felt inspired to record one of my green screen reels. I was recognizing that the level of education that I used to provide in the green screen reels that I would record, I miss doing that. That's how I started. So I recorded that, and now I decided, let me just do it in long form as well and talk about the liver, and then I'll post the reel later. Hello everybody. Okay, let's see, because I like to do this, I like to run this like class sometimes. Who can throw out any function of the liver? Does anyone know a function of the liver? Let's see where we're starting for level of knowledge. Oh no. Oops, I can no longer hear you. Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? This is important. Let me make sure my microphone is there. Okay. Yes, I see detox in the comments. That is a function of the liver. Does anyone know any other functions of the liver? Helps with elimination of fluids from the body like toxins, especially concerning the urine. Camellia, that's the kidneys. That is the exact description of the kidneys, actually. So the liver is the massive organ that's on the right side of your body. It spans like around your entire back, underneath your right breastbone area. And it's like purple in color. It's really, really deep. It's one of the only organs that can recover from damage extremely well and almost gain all of its function back. Okay? Liver function is related to hormone balance. Yes. Metabolizing. Yes. Specifically metabolizing medications, synthetic supplements, alcohol, tons of functions. Yes, the liver has over 500 functions in the body. Crazy stuff. Produces cholesterol too. When people have high cholesterol in the body, it's not because they are eating too much cholesterol. I even learned this in a nutrition class in college, because everybody thinks that high cholesterol means, oh, I'm getting too much cholesterol from eggs, or I'm getting too much cholesterol from meat. That's not like the direct explanation for how that works in the body. What happens is when you're eating foods that are acidic to the body, yes, animal product is acidifying to the body in some capacity, and constant eating of animal products every single meal with no break for detoxification will accumulate acidity in the body. Right? That's why we have balance. That's why we have ebbs and flows. That's why if you are a period of high acidity, you need to balance that period with detoxification to neutralize and flush out the acidity that has accumulated. So when you're eating acidic foods, and that is animal product, dairy, high sugar, chemical foods, processed foods, just junk like that. Even some grains are acidifying to the body. Rice, and then grains that are rice, bread, pasta, white flour, grains that are not sprouted or ancient grains. So sprouted grains, ancient grains, lightly fermented grains, all of those in the body are not as acidifying because you are taking away the phytic acid component when you do that. And ancient grains naturally are more alkaline. Millet is actually the only purely alkaline grain that exists. Millet. And millet is a little bit hard to cook down. I've had to try to perfect my millet. It's a little different from quinoa. It's a little tricky. But anyways, when you're consuming foods that are acidic to the body, your body starts to teeter towards an acidic pH, and then your body naturally starts to produce its own cholesterol rooted in the liver because you are trying to neutralize that acidity with cholesterol, which is an alkaline molecule. Cholesterol, I'm going to say that one more time. Cholesterol is an alkaline molecule. The body, specifically the liver, produces your own cholesterol. The body will keep producing more and more cholesterol. It will get into a state where it hyperproduces cholesterol to try to neutralize the acidic conditions of the body and create this buffer. So your body starts to flood itself with this alkalinity, which tries to neutralize that acidic state that you're putting on it by eating acidic foods. That's one function of the liver, right? And then we have metabolizing of For anyone who just joined, I've been mono eating mangoes all morning. The Atulfo mangoes. Adina says these are the Haitian mangoes. One of my best friends is Haitian. Best friends. Shout out Malika. And I don't think I've ever known that these are Haitian mangoes. Oh, Tef, Fonio, Spelt. You're right. Those are the more alkaline ones as well. You are so correct. When I went to Panama and I was studying for a day with Dr. Aris, he told me millet is the #1 alkaline out of everything. And then of course you have the more alkaline grains, right? There are just levels to things. Of course there are levels to things. What does mono eating mean? Mono eating, great question. That means I am only eating one thing for a period of time. The benefit of mono eating at any point in life, right, is it gives the digestive system a break because it's not trying to digest a ton of different things. So a nice mono meal can be easy on the digestive system, especially people who experience constipation or bloating or gas. Dinner at the end of the night, usually people kind of have a bulky dinner with a lot of different combinations. Maybe you're doing meat plus rice plus veggies, or a salad with this in it and this in it and this in it and this in it. There's a lot happening usually at dinner time. If people have a lot of digestive stress, then a mono meal as their last meal of the day is actually very supportive to having ease on the digestive system, allowing the digestive system to not have to digest all combinations of food, different food combos, instead of just one thing. Digesting one thing provides the digestive system some level of ease. So that's what that is. What about blood sugar spikes by only eating fruits? This is a great question. So, I talk about this on my page all the time, forever. Now, blood sugar spikes from only eating fruits, you have to know your body, right? Me, a mono meal of fruit, I can do that because I don't have fat and oil coursing through my bloodstream after 3 years of living this way. Fruit sugar is not as easily absorbed and utilized by the body when you have a lot of fat coursing through your body. That's why even when we're looking at specific food combinations, you're not combining fruit and fat quite often. You're not eating mango with tahini and peanut butter, A combination of fruit and fat is a little bit harder for the body to utilize the sugar and get it out of your blood, okay? The cells need to be able to absorb the sugar from the blood, and it can't do that if there's a lot of fat coursing through you, which could be the night before, right? I eat apples with peanut butter. So apples and papaya are actually a different case most of the time. Apples and papaya are both high digestive enzyme fruits. So the fact that they're high digestive enzymes allows them to be much more conducive to combining with other foods than certain other fruits. Now, I recommend to most people combining your fruits into fruit smoothies with some greens. Greens work on stabilizing the blood sugar and can help stabilize the blood sugar with any sort of fruit smoothie, juice, and even having green milk alongside a mono meal like this stabilizes the blood sugar, right? I do me. I feel good. I have a plethora of greens in my diet. Every single thing that I eat is literally green. So for me, I do not have crazy blood sugar spikes from fruit often because my diet is very, very high in greens in general. But usually I would say if anyone is concerned or notices blood sugar spikes related to eating only fruit at a time, greens are your key. And I'm not saying to cleanse off of fruit. That's not what I'm saying right now. I'm saying one meal I'm having right now, I'm enjoying fruit. Okay, let's keep going. So, in today's society, the liver is presented with a task that it has never had to be presented before with the level of toxins that this modern society is doing to us, okay? The liver has never had this level of glyphosate. The liver has never had this level of pesticides. The liver has never had this level of toxic deodorant plus toxic shampoo plus toxic soap plus toxic toothpaste plus toxic lotion plus toxic makeup plus toxic air freshener plus toxic detergent. Think about everything that I'm saying. Because, you take a shower. Enjoy your shower in the tap water that has chemicals in it because we are just all dumping our medication down into the tap water. They put chlorine in the tap water to sanitize it. So you are taking your shower in tap water, which is fine. Whatever. I didn't get a shower filter for my apartment for the longest, but now we moved to Mexico. I have a shower filter in my apartment now, and it feels beautiful. I feel like I am living a luxurious life with my $75 shower filter, and I know that I am living it up with one of the best shower filters on the market, actually. If you guys go to my link in bio and scroll all the way down, I have a link that has every single thing I use in my household. So the shower filter is there. So you're taking your shower in tap water, and then you are using your toxic soap, you're using your toxic shampoo, and then you are coming out of the shower and you are lathering your body with your towel that you washed in your toxic detergent and toxic dryer sheets. And your towel could be not cotton, so it's plastic fiber potentially. And then on top of that, you are then lathering your body in toxic oil, you're putting in toxic leave-in conditioner, you're brushing your teeth with toxic toothpaste, and then you're putting on your clothing that is likely synthetic clothing. What do you think about showering in cistern water, rainwater? Good question. What do I think about showering in rainwater? Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. I think the craziest thing, the first thing that my mind comes, because now that I live this life, right? I live this life and I'm like, I know way too much about all the chemicals that are out here. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because I'm like, oh my gosh, even showering in rainwater, the glyphosate is embedded in the water supply now. The glyphosate is a forever chemical. It is in the rivers, it is in the streams, it is now coming down in the rain because humans have just put this forever chemical out into our ecosystem and it's just circulating now. However, because glyphosate is a forever chemical, I don't even know if my shower filter filters that shit out. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like the thought of rainwater, but then of course my mind goes to glyphosate because then I'm just in the rabbit hole. But then at the same time, I don't trust the shower filter to filter out glyphosate in particular. Everything else is, I feel confident. Heavy metals, chemicals, all those things, those are not forever chemicals. You know what I'm saying? So where was I? I was just going through the journey of coming out of the shower and just how many toxins and things are just bombarding you 24/7, which your liver has to process. Your liver is the #1 detoxification organ in the body. It's responsible for processing out everything. Everything, okay? Everything hits the liver first and then is directed for elimination in the proper way. The liver can put toxins into the lymph. The liver can then put toxins into the kidneys or the bowels directly for direct elimination via urine and bowel movements. Sometimes when the liver dumps things into the lymphatic system and you're not moving your lymphatic system well enough, that can accumulate in the lymph. That can lead to swollen lymph nodes. That can start to lead to skin conditions. That can lead to rashes and hives. That can lead to cellulite. Whenever toxins are funneled into the lymphatic system and not able to leave the lymph, they start to accumulate in the lymph nodes with swollen lymph nodes that can lead to cysts and tumors as well. Toxins too can get stored in the adipose tissue, that is your fat cells. That is what cellulite is. Sorry, I need to close this door. That is what cellulite is. Cellulite is accumulation of toxins stored in the adipose tissue, your fat cells. The human body does not create nor destroy the number of fat cells you have unless you get something like liposuction. That destroys your fat cells. Otherwise, your body has the same number of fat cells always. They just blow up and deflate according to how much is accumulated in them or stored in them, okay? Your fat cells can also store sugar, excess sugar, which the body can pull from for energy if it's ever in a starvation mode or lacking its energy source of glucose. Have you ever done an extended dry fast? That is a great question. I have not done an extended dry fast. I feel I am too skinny for that. I personally do not need an extended dry fast for healing my body. If I desired to do an extended dry fast, it would probably be for spiritual reasons. I personally like food and I like nourishment and I do not like to feel tired or fatigued. I literally can't do that with where I'm at right now, serving this many people every single day. So I might be called to a dry fast for some sort of spiritual endeavor, but no. Extended juice fast for sure, extended water fast for sure, extended master cleanse for sure. Dry fasting, different level. Different level that I don't desire and it wasn't required for my healing process. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I've done 11 days, but I have the fat for it, LOL. Yes, you, my friend Josh, you are really speaking some truth here because a lot of people who are bigger and have some weight to give, they can handle more extreme levels of fasting. And I'm not using the word extreme necessarily in a bad way, but people who got some weight to give can do extreme levels of fasting without feeling the side effects of depletion as quickly. It goes under the radar because you have a lot to give. The body's pulling from fat. The body's pulling from storage versus when you're thin, When you're thin, you do not have a lot to give. Your body has nothing to pull from to sustain itself for a long period of time. It just is what it is. So, you know, when people are thin, there's that like quick realization, unless you are very spiritually tapped in and you can handle a dry fast mentally and emotionally, and you're breathing. If you are doing a dry fast, you need to be breathing, because there are levels of nutrients that you can get from breath, right? Nitrogen, carbon. How do carnivores get rid of toxins in their liver since they don't eat greens at all? I don't speak on carnivores because that diet makes zero sense to me. That diet makes absolutely no sense to me. And they eat so much fat from animal products. That diet makes no sense to me at all. And two, like, make sure you fully understand what a carnivore is actually eating. Like, social media is jaded. Like, social media is not truth. When you see people who are touting carnivore diets, I'm not saying everyone who touts carnivore diets, but like, you know, content is made to grab y'all's attention, and content is made to either scare you quickly into doing action, into making a move, or to grab your attention to get more views to then go viral and then people have further reach. That's what it is, okay? So, carnivore diet, I do not believe that eating only animal products is a balanced way to sustain life, okay? Like, sustain, balance life. Greens are given to us on this planet for a reason. Herbs are given to us on this planet for a reason. Fruit is given to us on this planet for a reason. There are some people who claim they're carnivore and eat fruit. There are some people who claim they're carnivore, and honestly, one of the philosophies I've seen is meat and fruit. That's one of the philosophies I've seen, but I don't dive in too deep on what's happening on that side because it makes no sense to me. People who eat a lot of animal products, I notice a lot of redness to their skin. Naturally, their skin is extremely red. They're flushed in the cheeks. Their kidneys have eye bags underneath them they just look like you're eating a lot of animal. They look like you're eating a lot of protein, you know? And like, they probably look good, like Joe Rogan, for example. Joe Rogan has kidney bags that tell me this dude is literally pounding his kidneys way too much with way too much animal protein. I can see it. However, he's built and he's jacked and he's fit and he has endurance and he has resilience. Do you know why? Because he works out. Okay? Every single retreat center around the world that heals cancer and heals chronic conditions is never using a carnivore diet. There is weight to that. There is weight to the fact that retreat centers in Eastern world, right? The way that they heal the body in Eastern philosophies is never been on a carnivore diet. I've never seen that. So, it is what it is. Joe Rogan looks incredibly unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? Just because someone's large, just because someone's big and has huge muscles, like, you're just fueling your body off of steroid and animal protein. So, whatever. That's my take on that. But anyways, a couple things that overburden the liver in our everyday life, right? The liver's responsible for processing toxins. Synthetic supplements. I talk about synthetic supplements quite often. And synthetic supplements are the supplements you're going to find in supplement stores, in grocery stores, Walmart, things that you're grabbing quickly on the shelf. A lot of things that are promoted on social media. I know there are a couple of like the supplement companies that like put together a cute little supplement pack for you. No. Nah, do not buy those. Do not buy that because these are synthetic supplements. And what this is, synthetic supplements are man-made, and they're made to mimic the chemical structure and attempt to mimic the function of naturally occurring nutrients, okay? So I'll repeat that one more time. Synthetic supplements are man-made in a lab to mimic naturally occurring nutrients, okay? Now the thing is, because they go through chemical processing and they are man-made and therefore they are synthetic and they only mimic the chemical structure of naturally occurring nutrients, they are not the true structure of naturally occurring nutrients. The body will never recognize this as useful and supportive. The body will always recognize a synthetic supplement as something that is foreign to you. It is not the earth. It is not earth-made. It is chemical-made. It is synthetic. It is a mimic. It is a fraud, okay? The natural calcium that you get from leafy greens does not match the isolated synthetic calcium you are taking from a supplement. The body will never process those two things in the same way, okay? So synthetic supplements are processed by the liver as a toxin. And actually, when I was taking, Cynthia says, when I was taking synthetic vitamins for a while, prescribed by a naturopath, I would get pressure and a sense of pain in the liver area. When I stopped the pressure, the pain went away. And I have another anecdotal story for you. When I first started uncovering the world of natural medicine, because I was pre-med. I was pre-med for a really long time. I understood what supplements were and believed in supplements, but I believed in them in a mindset of okay, a doctor can prescribe vitamin D supplements, doctor can prescribe calcium supplements or vitamin B supplements, and pharma makes those. But then you can also go to the vitamin shop or the supplement store and you'll find supplements there too, right? So these are all isolated supplements. When I first started my path and I knew that supplements were a thing that wasn't quite a medication, I was like, okay, this isn't a medication. This is natural. I can work on deficiencies or depletion in my body. I started to take a ton of supplements. And I think I was I'm probably 20 years old when I started to do all that. It's before I had my health. This is before I even almost died and had my whole health situation. So this was my body. This was my body before shit went crazy. I started to use more supplements. And my body got so overwhelmed by the level of synthetic supplement that my liver enzymes, specifically AST and ALT, is the test of your liver enzymes that show an overburdening of the liver and almost a overwhelm of the liver function. The liver enzymes skyrocket when the liver can't process what it's being put under, right? The liver can't process what it's forced to, and the AST and ALT liver enzymes shoot up to show you. And synthetic supplements contribute to that. When you have an excess of synthetic supplements, the liver cannot process it down like that. So that's my story too. The liver with synthetic supplements was not the vibe. It's not it. It proved to me clearly. That was my first, I had studied anatomy at that point. That was my first oh, synthetic supplements are not natural. My liver does not like them. I stopped taking them. My liver enzymes came down. Okay? AST and ALT are two liver enzymes that can get tested. I don't get lab tested anymore, really. I might do a vitamin mineral panel randomly. I don't need to do that anymore. I was during the thick of my journey, but not anymore. So, in addition to synthetic supplements, the liver also has to process all medications. Okay? All medications are also considered toxins to the body. Always. Always, always, always. Because what is a medication? A medication is a medicinal ingredient from nature compounded with a chemical a binder, a filler, a preservative, a coating, a lubricant, petroleum, natural component found in nature, extracted, chemically compounded so they can patent it. They attempt to get you some better function in the body, but you're never going to get long-term healing and better function with chemical interference and compounding, right? Earth is natural medicine. Herbs are natural medicine. Even aspirin. Let's look at how aspirin was created. Aspirin was created from white willow bark. White willow bark is an herb. They have extracted white willow bark, compounded it with petroleum so they can patent. They can patent that compound. They can't patent the white willow bark, which wherever it grows at, we can go harvest. They can't patent the white willow bark to make money, but that compounding process, they now have a new entity that they can compound, which in theory relieves pain, relieves inflammation, which is what the white willow bark truly does, purely. This, in theory, does that, but they did this so they can patent it. So that's how they make medication. So because medication is compounded with all those chemicals I listed, chemicals, binders, fillers, coatings, lubricants, petroleum, all those things, because medication is compounded with those things, the liver has to process it because it's chemicals and toxins. The liver has to process it. So when you have excess use of medication, even a little medication use, the liver is processing it. But when you have, your grandparents and your mom and your dad and the older generations on long lists of medications, their liver is usually not doing good. If they're on long lists of medications, they're not doing good in general, but like their liver especially is working. And if the liver is working so hard on trying to eliminate all the medication, trying to eliminate all the synthetic supplement, trying to eliminate all the toxins and chemicals from my detergent and my bed sheets and the plastic in my clothing and my tap water and my perfume and my deodorant and my shampoo. If the liver is focused on doing all of that, how does the liver actually keep you healthy and perform its baseline natural function if it's so distracted and working on all this extra shit from modern society? Put a 1 in the chat if you're with me and you feel me and I'm making sense, please. Hi, Isha. I have just mango all over me. I'm using Sebastian's do-rag. A lot of 1s in the chat. I'm so glad. Okay, let's keep it pushing. I'm eating mango. Mono eating mango this morning. What to do to heal the liver? Good question. So what to do to heal the liver? First, let's start by taking out the things that are harming the liver. All the things that I mentioned. Now, medications are different. I'm not telling you to eliminate medication. That is something you do with your doctor, okay? That is something you do with your doctor, not me. However, what I will tell you as advice is question everything that you are on. Question everything that you are on. Have autonomy in your body, because if you eat healthy and you support your body's natural functioning, I think it's like 89% of chronic disease is because of lifestyle. Okay? Chronic disease is because of lifestyle. If you change the lifestyle, there's no more chronic disease. Okay, so we talked about how synthetic supplements overburden the liver. We talked about how medications overburden the liver. We talked about liver producing cholesterol in reaction to an acidic environment of the body. Let's keep moving. What else overburdens the liver? What else overburdens the liver? This is a question for you guys. This is not hypothetical. I want to see in the chat, what else overburdens the liver? If you want to write synthetic supplements again, that's great. If you want to write all the chemicals in our life, that was one of them too, and medication, but there is another one. Stress, 100%. The liver is extremely affected by stress and feelings of anger, resentment, suppression, lack of expression, right? Alcohol, 100%. Camellia got it first. Oil. That's where it was in my head. You guys are all correct, but that's where it was in my head. Oil. Right? Lack of oxygen too. Ooh, Aisha's going deep with this stuff for sure. I was keeping a little surface level and giving the tangible things in everyday life, but oh my gosh, 100%. Hair loss protocol. Hair loss protocol is green milk and the adult multivitamin by Iris Herbals. That's your hair loss protocol. High mineral herbs, high mineral food is your hair loss protocol. Okay, oil. Yes, this includes avocado oil. Yes, this includes olive oil. Oil is not naturally occurring. Oil is processed no matter what. Oil has a high density of fat in a small serving. And oil lacks the vitamins, the antioxidants, and the fiber that come with a naturally occurring fat source. Okay? Even like seeds and nuts and seed milks and nut milks and avocado and coconut meat and coconut milk. These are naturally occurring fat sources, right? They come with the enzymes. They come with the antioxidants. They come with the fiber, avocado, coconut meat, nuts, seeds. They come with these other components that support their absorption, utilization, balance amongst that food. Oil does not have that. Okay? Cooked oil is different from raw oil. If people desire some raw olive oil, raw avocado oil, okay, but if you have diabetes, I would not recommend consuming oil. If you have high blood pressure, high triglycerides, high cholesterol, I would not recommend consuming oil for a bit of time. If you have hormonal imbalance, I would not recommend consuming oil, because if you overburden the liver, this is another distraction, another interference with the liver's baseline function, right? If the liver is working to process all of this not naturally occurring oil, this dense fat source, it has to hypersecrete bile, okay? Oversecrete bile in order to breaking down that dense fat that you're consuming. You're distracting the liver from what it wants to do to help you. Your liver can't work on detoxification if it's overburdened with trying to help digest all this oil and dense fat, right? So oil's the next one. Oil's another one. Someone says, so hair loss is caused from mineral deficiency? Yeah, sometimes. Even when people say hair loss is hormonal, like hormone imbalance is rooted in replenishment of the body and fixing of the gut microbiome, you know? Like hormone imbalance is never the root cause. Like if anyone tells you hormone imbalance is the root cause of something, there is a root cause to the hormone imbalance. Maybe you're deficient, so the glands can't get enough minerals. Maybe you don't have good nervous system communication because you don't have minerals that conduct the electrical signal of the nervous system. The gut imbalance, if your gut is imbalanced, your gut speaks to your brain, right? You have your master gland in your brain called the pituitary gland, which tells some major glands of the body how to function. The ovaries, the adrenals, and the thyroid are all glands that are governed by the pituitary gland. If you have a gut imbalance, which affects the brain imbalance, You may have a gland imbalance if you have it manifesting on the level of reproductive, thyroid, or adrenal fatigue. What are healthy fats easy for the liver? Avocado, soaked seeds, soaked nuts, sprouted seeds, sprouted nuts, coconut meat, coconut milk, seed milk, nut milk. There you go. That's all the healthy fats that are out there. Even animal products, right? High quality animal products, high quality fish, high quality eggs, high quality meat. These are great fat sources for the body. However, people can get into trouble if they are overeating animal and not allowing their body to process it out, okay? There are waves of detoxification and elimination. If you are dealing with constipation, animal products may not help you. If you've never gone through a period of not eating animal, I recommend you experiment and try that. I eat animal products now again after a long time not doing that because I had to heal my body. My tongue turned black when I was cleansing, right? My tongue turned black when I was cleansing. My bowel movements were bright yellow and bright orange and looked like the color of highlighter markers and chemicals when I was cleansing. I could not cleanse while consuming animal product. I had chemotherapy and chemicals purging from my tongue and my bowel movements. I could not achieve that on animal. That's why there are periods, right? That's why there are periods of time. It's hard to hear. Is this hard? Is it hard for me to hear? Is it hard for you to hear? What are high mineral foods? Great question. Seed milks, nut milks, preferably seed milks. Seed milks are high in minerals and have low phytic acid, which is great. Seeds. Think about it. Seeds are like your potential plant. Seeds are your potential plant. They have so much potential and so much density in the seeds that are ready to sprout. That's why sprouts are so beneficial too. Sprouts are so high in minerals because it's a concentrated mineral, right? Concentrated. The seed has the potential to be a thing. It has everything it needs within it to be a thing. High minerals in seeds. High minerals in sprouts. Seaweeds have extremely high minerals in them. Dulse, nori, wakame, spirulina, chlorella. Wheatgrass is extremely high in minerals as well. Wheatgrass, according to Ann Wigmore's book, is the only plant that seemingly has every nutrient the body needs. The Ann Wigmore Natural Health Institute has had wheatgrass tested and studied, and it even has micrograms of B12, 0.03 micrograms. Sure, it's 0.03, which is fine. We're not gonna rely on that. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it's there. I've been vegan for 6 years, healing my gut, and thrived, and now started eating meat in a mindful way, and I've unlocked new levels to my health journey, but still eat heavily green foods. Exactly. I'm literally, Aisha, I'm the same way. It is animal in a mindful way. The bulk of my everything is green, is veggie, is plant. I wouldn't even say fruit is in a bulk. Like fruit for me is like a morning thing, or if I rarely honestly eat it alone anymore. It's like always in a smoothie or always in like a smoothie fruit bowl situation. Or like my juices are always green juices or always veggie juices. Like I'm never doing pure fruit juices anymore. Like, yes. I personally feel like solid and much more dense with this level of balance, but I know that the period of cleansing at the level that I had to do it had to happen because now my body feels super resilient. My body feels good. My body feels strong. I put on muscle quickly and nicely, and like I maintain. It's good. It's good. I feel good. Balance is great. But also, I don't believe that like eating only plant foods can't work. Like, I don't believe that either. Like, one of my mentors and then her teacher are like 99% plant foods, and they do it right. And the reason why they have it right is because they eat seed milks often, nut milks often, seaweeds, often, abundance of leafy greens. You are missing a component if you are eating only plant and focusing too much on fruit, focusing too much on grains, focusing too much on even vegetables. Like leafy greens provide minerals. Seaweeds provide minerals. Your sprouts and your seeds provide minerals. Herbs provide minerals, like the abundance of herbs that one of my teachers and her teachers has, and they've been plant forever. Like, those are the components that make a plant diet possible because they have everything that the earth has provided for high minerals in balance. What about watermelon juice? Very hydrating. Yeah, that's always fun. Like, fruit juice is fun. Fruit is fun. Like, there's such a, I think that it's hard. It's hard for me to like make sense of everything for you when you see a lot of things on social media or have been told a lot of things and I don't know what you've been told and I don't know how much discernment you have. Like, watermelon juice is cool. Having only fruit by itself sometimes is cool. I'm talking about like the baseline and the bulk of your lifestyle should be balanced and should have like these checks and balances of keeping yourself like neutral, right? Like, a lot of fruit and a lot of only fruit juices does bring you out of a neutral state. It does do that. A lot of it does that, right? But in balance, oh, I want a watermelon juice and then I have a salad, right? And then I want some animal products and I have a salad, right? It's like there's this balance of just general life. And that doesn't mean for every fruit serving you have to have a salad right after. That doesn't mean that. For every animal serving you have to have a salad right after. I'm not saying that. There's not this like rigidity around what you're eating. I'm talking about in general, if you look at the higher picture of your life, what does it look like? Are all the different components there? Are you leaning too heavy over here for a certain reason, right? Everyone's body is completely different. You look amazing, by the way. You look extremely well and healthy. Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel extremely well and healthy. You're also seeing me after a complete just burnout, and I'm still here because I love talking about the body. I love talking about the body. The momentum that we're having right now with like the cleanses we're doing, the groups I'm supporting, the one-on-one clients I've got, the anatomy course I'm teaching for certification, like, I breathe this shit for real, you know? And like, I do it all the time. Acne on my face is still present. Someone asked about acne earlier too. Well, acne was my thing, y'all. Acne was my thing. That was what started the internet era. I started posting with my full face of acne. If you scroll all the way down to my page, you'll see full face of acne. You'll see my face is like puffy. You'll notice like my face down here is puffier. And it's crazy to see the journey. Crazy to see the journey. But yeah, that's how I started. It took a long time for that acne to clear too. I was doing active cleansing, clearing out all those chemicals, right? My tongue turned black while I still had acne. My bowel movements were bright colors as I still had acne. I was purging left and right. I still had acne. I had lost my hair and regrown my hair as I still had acne. I lost my period from extreme types of juice cleansing and juice fasting and still had acne. Got my period back, still had acne. Like, fixed constipation and still had acne. I can't even describe to you. I can't even describe to you the journey that it has been to clear the acne. It's a journey, but it's taught me so much. Clearing chemo from my body and clearing acne and growing my hair back and balancing my period. Those four pillars of my journey personally have taught me almost every nook and cranny of my own body that I need. Crazy. You're teaching an anatomy course. Is this via the blueprint? No. So the blueprint is less about teaching practitioners. So I'm not training people in a way where they need to know the body in order to help other people in the blueprint. I'm teaching with the School of Natural Health, the School of Natural Health and Iridology. There's iridology certification, detoxification and holistic health counselor certification. There's an herbalism certification coming soon. And then the anatomy course that I'm teaching is complement to all the certifications. So people who are training, whether they're doing it for their own body or whether they desire to help other people, which you could by the end of that level of training, I'm teaching the anatomy course in there just because that's what I did. That's what I did for years and years and years and years and years. I literally studied anatomy for 7 years straight. It was fun, super fun. I did 2 years in high school, which is where it all began. That's where life all began for Tori. I knew when I was little, I used to play basketball. That was my first ever sport. I'm tall as well. So I used to play basketball. I started playing basketball in third grade, second or third grade. I played basketball. Well, how old was I in second or third grade? Like 9 or 10? I played basketball like all the way. I stopped before college. I didn't end up playing in college because I was going to be pre-med and I didn't believe that I could balance being an athlete plus pre-med. So I stopped. But yeah, I played basketball, and because I played basketball, I had always said, I want to be a sports medicine doctor. That's what I always said. I want to be a sports medicine doctor. From the beginning of time, everybody always knew I want to be a sports medicine doctor or a physical therapist. It turned into physical therapy after a while. But I was athlete to the core, right? Athlete to the core and eating garbage. We used to get we had the pizza parties and the pasta parties, and on the bus to travel to games, you're eating Subway sandwiches, and it's crazy how adaptable the body is and how young, when you're young, your body's so adaptive, and the fact that you can play a sport off of garbage food just shows that exercise, it forces the body to just utilize what's good and leave what's bad. Exercise does that. Athletes, I've had a couple athletes come into my sphere. There's one who plays professional basketball overseas, and he's always said to me, he's like, I kind of feel like I need to cleanse or detox, but I don't feel like shit. And I'm like, yeah, because you're an athlete. You have resilience and adaptability, and you have this level of elimination and sweating and lymphatic movement and bowel movement, intestinal movement, nervous system regulation that most people don't have. Even though you're putting your body under extreme stress physically, like the structure of your bones and stuff, and the level of competition, of course, puts your nervous system in a little bit of stress with the competition, but the benefits on the body of exercise in particular, your body can literally just take what's needed and throw out the rest, versus people who don't exercise like that, you take in stuff that's not that great for you and it sticks. It sticks. There's not that level of elimination that's there. Hi, Yarrow. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing so well. So anyways, yeah, I always wanted to be a sports medicine doctor, and then it changed to physical therapy. I started college fully in a physical therapy track, and then it became a pre-med track. And then I pretty much have all the prerequisites I would need to go to med school. So I ended up having that situation that changed my whole life, and it put me on a natural path. But I was fully ready to go into Western medicine. And too, when I had that health experience where I was in the hospital for 2 weeks getting chemo and blood transfusions and steroids, there was a part of it where it was almost good, because that happened at a place before I found natural medicine to the capacity that I did, of course. That was at a place where I was fully pre-med, and I fully believed that the Western medical system had something for me. And because that was happening to me, and I was kind of just thrown into the hospital, taken in for 2 weeks, I couldn't walk on my own, or, that whole situation, it was a blessing that I believed so deeply in the medical model and was studying the medical model so deeply, because it allowed my mind to give a level of surrender and peace with what was happening and be at peace and very like okay with whatever treatment was being thrown at me. During that time, I was like praying. I started to pray a lot. I started to journal a lot. And like my journals in particular were like addressed to God. I was like, dear God, and like writing on my laptop, just journaling it out, specifically addressed in that way. Any priest that came by, I would say, yes, come talk to me. And he sort of just, they have these volunteer priests, they have volunteer practitioners, they have volunteer energy healers, they have volunteer a lot of things in hospitals for people who are dealing with chronic stuff like that. And like, I said yes. I said yes to anybody who came in. I said yes to anyone from priests to Reiki practitioners. I just talked to people, and I used to hug my nurses, and it was like a vibe. It was a vibe, and I didn't know why my mind was so calm with it. Like, it was so interesting. So interesting. The prayer that began, the type of journaling directly to God that began, being so open to just talk to very spiritual people who came by and volunteered to talk to me. Like, everything about that experience is so clear as day to me, how I ended up on this path. The like clear message from God truly was like, you are going to go through this and be fine. And I knew I would be fine, regardless of what they were telling me. They're like, this has a 20% fatality rate. This may happen again. You're going to need preventative chemo for the rest of your life. You'll have to come in every 6 months for chemo. Like, I was just being told. They were like, we don't know when you can leave the hospital. We don't know if your blood is going to recover. We don't, like, I was just being thrown this, that, and the other thing that they were saying to me. And I had a central line down my neck, and I was just like letting them pump whatever the fuck they had to pump into me. Steroids, different blood, different plasma, different platelet. It was just day in and day out. They would pump me with calcium, and I would have to tell them if my body was going numb, because it would let them know if it was too much calcium or not. Isn't that crazy? Like, crazy stuff. I love my body so much. I adore my body so much. I'm so grateful for the experience that I had. And now we are here today on this path of natural living and natural life, and just fully recovered and thriving. Fully. Anyways, thank you for listening to my story again. I say it so many times, and I've shared it so many times, but there are so many new people all the time. There's so many new people all the time, and I love it. And I like want to know y'all, and y'all know me. There's like a good community of people that I've already gotten to know so far. Like, you know, people who have followed me for a while, they've become clients, they've become intimate community, they've been part of my detoxes, they've done all of this, they're continuing to just learn and keep going. And like, you know, there's new people. So hi, if anyone's new here. See what's happening in the comments. If I eat one meal a day, I can't understand that question. Never mind. I can't do it. That was a little grammatically challenging for me to read. If eating 3 meals is compulsory, I would not call eating 3 meals compulsory. If you are listening to anyone on social media that is telling you that 3 meals is compulsory, are they a man? First of all, they probably are a man, okay? Men and women are very different. God is great, absolutely. God is great. And so if eating 3 meals a day is compulsory, or eating 1 meal a day isn't enough, I'm not sure what you're asking. Can you get all the vitamins your body needs? Well, like, my comment is stop listening to other people. That's what my comment is. Stop listening to other people. Okay? Eating 3 meals a day is not compulsory, especially for women. Eating 3 meals a day is not compulsory. If you are working 9 to 5s, if you are super busy, if you are super active, if you're a parent dealing with children, I shouldn't say dealing, raising children, sorry. I meant the energetic expenditure that it is to entertain children. I lived with 3 boys for an entire year, and I, as a nanny, and I got an inkling of what it was like to watch children all the time and raise children all the time. If you are raising children, a parent, if you are working crazy hours, if you're working multiple jobs, if you are active, if you are exercising, eating 3 meals a day is not compulsory. That is a natural thing that you need to do to fuel your body. And whether it's exactly 3 meals, okay. Whether it's 4 meals, whether it's 2 meals, but 1 meal a day, if you're listening and hearing that like 1 meal a day is what you should be eating, there's no should. There's no should. Because if you are eating for healing and you are eating for health and you are eating foods that serve you and you are hungry, you need nourishment to sustain your lifestyle. You need, sorry, let me get water. I'm just like frothing at the mouth here. I have H. pylori and I was told from a holistic practitioner to avoid raw veggies and fruits because of bacteria. What is your input? What is their philosophy behind that? I would ask them, why are you telling me that? Because of bacteria? What about the raw fruits and veggies do you think is going to harm my current bacterial imbalance? That's what you need to ask them, because that makes 0 sense. That actually makes no sense. You need fruits and vegetables. You need greens. You need seaweeds, seeds, nuts, whatever your body can handle across those things. Sure, maybe within the seed category, your body can't handle almonds. I mean, maybe your body can't handle hemp. My boyfriend's body does not like hemp. Maybe within the nut category, your body can't handle almonds. Maybe within the vegetable category, your body can't handle cauliflower. Maybe within the fruit category, your body can't handle bananas, right? Maybe that's what happens. But in general, you need balance across everything. If you're told that you need to avoid veggies and fruits as a food group, that makes no sense. If you have H. pylori, I have an entire live on my page that I did about a week ago. I'm in a teal like button up. That live talks all about H. pylori, SIBO, gut bacterial imbalance, bacterial infection, and how to support that in particular. I would go watch that and then you can question what you were told. Eating when I'm hungry is good, or eating on time is good. If I get hungry at midnight or 3 a.m., can I eat? Why are you awake at midnight or 3 a.m.? You see what I'm saying? That question is kind of, you wouldn't be hungry at 3 a.m. if you went to sleep at 10 p.m. You wouldn't be hungry at 3 a.m. if we weren't scrolling on our phones, unless you're working. If you're working a night shift, you need to fuel your body. You know what I'm saying? That's different. That's different. All right, y'all. I feel like we talked about so much. We talked about the liver. We talked about the gut a little bit. We talked about food combining a little bit. We talked about blood sugar a little bit. We talked about acne. We talked about exercise, animal product, how to eat animal product. Any last minute final questions? This was great. I'm excited to go live. My green screen reels are going to come back. Wow, your knowledge is awesome. How can you learn all this? I have spent 8 years studying the body. I have had deep healing experiences on my own body. I have worked with hundreds of people's bodies. It's just practice, right? You only get good at something with practice. So for me, it started with reading. Reading a lot. I've read a lot of different books and philosophies about the body. Reading, finding teachers and mentors that you desire to learn from, embarking on your own self-healing journey that is rooted in balance instead of fear, is key, right? It's very hard to embark on a grounded healing journey when you are listening to social media. One more question. I joined the blueprint. I have a ferritin level of 10. I joined the group to try an alternative way. I'm worried about avoiding red meat because of ferritin. Would this cleanse be helpful? You don't have to avoid red meat. You don't have to avoid red meat. Never be scared about anything. None of my detoxes require you to get rid of animal. I don't even call it a detox. Like, it's so funny. I started off as Detox Tori, right? Started off as Detox Tori. That's a great name. That's a great name on the internet. I love that name on the internet. But like, there's something about the word detox where people just cannot, they cannot wrap their head around the fact that detox is only one element of the healing journey. I put people on healing programs. The Healing Blueprint is a healing program. There are elements of it that are detoxification, but the majority of it is trying to help you cultivate balance and level out what's happening in your body. Mentally level you and physically level you. Mentally balance you, physically balance you. It is a healing program, and there are elements that require detoxification and cleansing, right? So if you don't want to avoid red meat and are worried about it, you do not need to. You do not need to, which is why it's important, show up for yourself. If you are in the Healing Blueprint, if you are joining our Health for the Holidays cleanse, show up for yourself, because I can't help you unless I'm asked a question. Like right now, you're telling me about that. You thought you were hesitant in the Healing Blueprint. You thought you had to avoid red meat, but I've never heard you say this before, and now here we are. We just have to work together. Let me talk to you. Let's talk it out. Let's talk about how to balance everything so you don't have to avoid red meat if you're concerned about it. Let's talk about the alternatives that can still provide you all of the things that red meat will provide you, like blackstrap molasses, like spirulina. Okay? Let's talk about it. I just thought the 12-week course suggested that. Yeah, the 12-week course is there as a detox protocol for people. It is there. If you join the calls and you have me and you utilize me as the practitioner, it's very hard to communicate with people when I don't talk to them, right? I'm working on completely revamping that Healing Blueprint too, because for some reason people only join it and extract the protocol from the classroom and just take that for what it is. The 12-week detox is a period of detoxification. If your body is at a place where you do not resonate energetically or handle a period of detoxification, and you need to understand how to pull out which elements serve you and do an alternative for what other elements serve you, that's where we speak. That's where it's custom to you. That's where we personalize this. That's where we figure out the tools that will help you, right? I encourage you to show up for yourself, absolutely. Because even right here, it's I'm okay, cool. Now I know this is what's happening. This is what we need to work on with her. I already know which parts of the detoxification protocol will apply to you, but you're not going to be on a deep journey of detoxification right now. You're going to be on an area of balance, right? So, I just say you have full access to me if you use me. There's full access to me if you use me. Yes, I can help you. I can help you. On an empty stomach, my A1C is a 7. Yes, I can help you. We have got people's A1Cs after 30 days down to 5s, right? I can absolutely help you. Do you need a skilled setter? I do not need a setter. I have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful lady named Allie. She is the one that any of you would talk to if you ever desire to join one of my programs, work with me, join anything. You'll just talk to Allie first, and she's able to just make sure that you are committed and feel ready and resonate with this way of healing, and we get to learn more about you and where you're at in your journey and where your starting point is, so we can literally have the best recommendation for your path without you trying this and that and the other thing. yeah, you'll talk to Allie. So if you haven't met Allie yet, you'll meet Allie. If you've met Dan before, Dan is my brother, but Dan is also doing his own life and his own thing. So I've been working with Allie for a while, so she's now taking over Dan's situation as Dan goes to blossom as my brother, as my little brother. Yeah. So yes, thank you all for joining. I welcome you. If you need any more information about getting support, if you need any information outside of just getting support about health and knowledge, I recommend either my YouTube channel, which has videos that are structured and very intentional, or you can watch all my lives where things are definitely sporadic. I'm definitely in flow state. I'm definitely using the comment section as inspiration for what you guys need to talk about, right? So I'm here to help and serve in the ways that I can if you are seeking it out. And we have helped hundreds and hundreds of people at this point. I don't think I've hit thousands yet. Maybe in my whole life I have. But since social media, no. Hundreds and hundreds. Yeah. Well, anyways, have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, y'all. If you have any questions, you can DM me. If you need any guidance, you can DM me. Like, we got you. Stay grounded in your social media endeavors. If you're on my live, you probably have a social media algorithm filled with people talking about health. That's how I fell into a trap of extreme detoxification and cleansing when I first started. Stay grounded, stay autonomous, stay sovereign, stay balanced. Question what you're hearing. Ask if you're confused about anything ever. Okay. Bye, everybody.